We're going to practice. Oh, there you go. Okay.
Over to you, Mark.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. It's Mark Munzer from Rochester Institute of Technology, also known as RIT. I'm one of the senior associate directors of undergraduate admissions, and I've been at RIT for 23 years. I'm the Canadian representative for the university, but I am based here in Rochester, New York. I'm so glad that you're tuning in to learn more about the university. So, Rochester, if you're not familiar, is about an hour and 20 minutes from Niagara Falls, Ontario, or about 3 hours from Toronto, and about 4 to 4.5 hours from Ottawa. So we are very accessible to many parts of the province of Ontario. Rochester does have an international airport, so you can fly in from many destinations, which can make it easily accessible from British Columbia. You can fly right through Chicago, right to Rochester direct. So this is a glimpse of the campus, and the campus is located in a suburb of Rochester. Rochester is a city of about 1 million people in the greater area, so it's a medium-sized US city, and we're about 5 minutes south of downtown Rochester. And the campus is self-contained, it's very modern, it's very residential, and it's very walkable. So in terms of our campus community, we have over 16,000 students on our main campus, which makes RIT one of the largest private universities in the US. We are primarily an undergraduate university, but we do have about 80 different graduate programs and 12 PhD programs. We have about 10% of our student body being international students. We have over 4,000 students of color, so it is a very diverse university. And we have a really unique aspect of diversity, which is our deaf and hard of hearing student population, numbering almost 1,000 students. We have an average class size of only 23, and our student to faculty ratio is 13:1. So even though we are a larger size university, you're not necessarily going to feel that in the classroom experience or in your major. Now, we have 9 different colleges that make up the university, and you can see on the right the different cognate areas that are offered at RIT. It's pretty wide ranging, so it is considered a comprehensive university. So of course we have a lot of STEM disciplines and everything you would expect: engineering, engineering technology, physical sciences, life sciences, environmental sciences, chemistry programs, health science programs, lots of computing programs, mathematics and statistics, but we also have non-STEM based programs in areas like business, humanities, social sciences, communication, and we have a ton of visual art programs. We have art programs, design programs, film and animation programs, and photography programs. We also allow you to customize your degree program if you'd like to. And we have over 100 immersions, which would be 3 courses in a concentration area that you have interest in, and a lot of minors as well, if you have interest in those, which are 5 course sequences. Now, RIT has been recognized for many things over the years, but here's a slide that highlights some of the things we've been recognized for most recently. We are a top esports university and have won 7 different national championships. We're considered a best value school by many sources and a top co-op university, which we'll talk about in a little bit. You can also see on the left-hand side some of the individual majors and programs have been recognized and ranked. Also not listed would be our photography programs, our design programs, and our film programs have also had very high rankings. Now, ultimately, rankings should not be the end all be all of your university search. It really is about the best fit. So I'm hoping that you'll get a better sense today if RIT may be a good fit for you or not. So I did want to talk a little bit about our pathways to graduate school programs at RIT because we do have so many and some of our enhanced academic opportunities as well. So we do allow students to apply to double major combinations in liberal arts areas. So that would include social sciences, humanities, and communication-based programs. With 2 business programs, you can apply for those directly or select combinations of computing and liberal arts majors, including computer science and economics, cybersecurity and political science, and game design and Japanese, just to name a few. We also have a lot of combined accelerated bachelor's master's programs in over 60 different areas. So all sorts of combinations of BSMS, BSME, which would be Masters of Engineering, a 4+1 MBA with several different programs at the undergraduate level combined with that program, as well as our 4+2, which would be our Bachelor of Fine Arts in Interior Design and our Masters of Architecture program. So the great thing about those combinations, you can save some time as well as money in earning both of those degrees. We also have some partner degree programs, a BSTO with LECOM, as well as a BSJD, which is a law degree with Syracuse University College of Law. Now, I said earlier I would talk more about the co-op program. Um, Co-op is just one aspect of experiential learning that's available at RIT. You can see on this slide that we have a ton. We are an R2 research university if you have interest in doing research, even as early as your first year. With our health science students, they're often doing clinical rotations and gaining experience in a healthcare setting. Classroom projects and activities are really integrated through all the programs at RIT. Entrepreneurship is readily available in terms of special programs and special facilities and special funding. Should you have interest in that. Lots of community service activities sponsored by the university. Capstone projects, which would be working with a real world company in your senior year with a team of students. These are most common for computing and engineering students. And then study or work abroad. And we have overseas campuses that are RET campuses in Croatia, Kosovo, the United Arab Emirates, and China. So a little bit more about co-op, since it is such a big part of the culture at RIT. We have close to 2,000 employer partners across North America and globally as well. Um, Over 90% of employers say they would hire their co-op's employee as a full-time student. And if you're not familiar with the term co-op, it's like an internship, but it's always paid and it's professional level work. At RIT with co-op, you're not paying tuition or fees during your co-op experience, but you're getting paid for working for that company. Here are some sample schedules. If you're in a 5-year program or a 4-year program, the 5-year programs at RIT would include engineering, engineering technology, and computer science. So you're gaining a total of about 12 months of work experience over the course of your 5 years. You're still only paying for 4 years of tuition. You'll want to keep that in mind. And then 4-year programs, which would be pretty much the rest of RIT's degree programs, including business programs, you would do your co-ops in the summertime and still graduate in 4 years. That would also include our game design and development program and our cybersecurity program. 60% of the time, students are getting a full-time job offer from at least one of their co-op employers, if not more. And as you can imagine, this lends to a really high placement rate, about 95% within 6 months of graduation in your field. If there's one thing I would encourage you to explore a little bit further after watching this webinar is the link at the bottom, rit.edu/career info. If you go on that page, you can actually see a list of all of our programs by bachelor's degrees and master's degrees, and you can do a deep dive into any area of interest that you have to find out typical job earnings at the co-op level and full-time, as well as typical job titles for that majors, graduates, our employer partners as well, and the skills and capabilities you'll graduate with. So it's a really career-rich source of information that can be super helpful for you. So a little bit about our athletics program. We're Division I for men's and women's hockey, Division III for the other teams you see there listed on the left. I did want to highlight quickly that our men's lacrosse team won the national championship in 2021 and in 2022, so we're very proud of them. The other teams are also very competitive, and most of them compete in the Liberty League for their contests. On the right-hand side, you'll see our club sport teams, intramurals activities, as well as recreational activities. So there's a lot to choose from. And some of these teams as well will travel for their contests. In terms of clubs and organizations, we have over 300 of them. Some of them are highlighted for you there on the right. So it's a very diverse set of clubs, which matches the diversity of our student body. And they really span a lot of different types of clubs as well. Hundreds of annual events, and we have about 3 to 5% of our students participating in Greek life. So fraternities and sororities are very involved in community service and philanthropic activities, but don't have an overwhelming presence on the campus. So I did want to give a quick shout out to 2 special programs. Some of you may be STEM interested students or maybe business or something else, but you also have other interests outside of your academic area of interest. So if you happen to be a performing arts interested student, so theater, choral groups, instrumental, technical theater, dance, any of those, you can apply for a special scholarship program, which requires a submission, a short submission of your talent after you apply for admission, and you'll be considered for this extra stackable scholarship. We have almost 30 different performing arts groups, and we have over 2,000 students participating in the performing arts, even though we have no performing arts majors at RIT. The other program is newer. It just started last year. It's called the Art Experience. So if you're a non-art major, but you like the visual arts like ceramics, glass blowing, painting, any of those types of areas, you can apply for this on the application for admission, and then we'll be able to communicate with you about next steps to be considered for this special opportunity. These events are typically happening on the evenings and weekends, so not to conflict with your classes. It's non-credit bearing, but allows you to be immersed in the visual arts. So in terms of living on campus, we have required housing for all first year students in our residence halls. Most students live on campus all 4 years, but they typically graduate into the apartments either on campus or right nearby the campus for second year and above. There's all different types of communities on our residence halls, including special interest houses like art house, photo house, computer science house, engineering house, science house, unity house, just to name a few. We have over 20 dining locations on campus with tons of different options. If you want to eat healthy, there's tons of great food on campus. And we have lots of different coffee shops, bakeries, convenience stores. So everything's right there and be easily accessible for you. We're currently renovating all of our residence halls, so they will have a nice refresh, and that'll be completed by 2025. And then we talked a little bit about Rochester earlier, but it is the third largest city in the state. There's about 15 area colleges and universities, so there's a lot of other students. And it is a very student friendly city with lots of opportunities and access to cultural experiences, as well as lots of natural beauty as well that you can take advantage of. And one fun thing about Rochester is we're home to the National Toy Hall of Fame as part of the Strong Museum of Play, which is fun for kids, but also fun for adults too. So switching gears, I just want to talk a little bit about the admissions process. We have differential admission at RIT, which means that we ask for you to select a first choice major or an exploration choice if you want to be a little bit undecided for your first year. And if you're admitted directly into that major or exploration choice right from the get-go. It's not to say you can't change your major once you're at RIT, but it does allow you to be immersed in the curriculum that you have the most interest in right away, which will help you determine if it's the right fit for you and allow you to build on that going forward from year to year. So the general education requirements are spread out over your time at RIT. And because we do differential admissions, the competitiveness can vary by major. One thing to keep in mind, we are SAT and ACT optional for all programs. On the right-hand side, you'll see the middle 50% ranges for SAT and ACT, as well as the GPA, keeping in mind that that's a US GPA out of a 100-point scale. And in the US, a 90 or higher is an A, which is a little bit different than most of the provinces in Canada. So holistic application review is something that we practice, and that's true for a lot of US universities. So that means we're looking at multiple factors. We're not just looking at your grades, we're looking at more than that. But that being said, your are very important in the application review, as well as your course selection. We want to make sure that you've taken appropriate courses for the major that you're applying to, so that we have confidence that you can be successful once you're at RIT. We talked earlier about SAT and ACT being optional. We do ask for one recommendation letter from you, either from a counselor, a teacher, an employer, or a coach. You're welcome to submit more than one if you'd like. We want to hear about all of your activities, if you're involved in athletics, community service, performing arts, hobbies. All of that can be listed in the application or in a separate resume. An essay is certainly important to us as well. We want to see how you write, as well as we want to learn more about you. Tell us your story. Not everything that's part of the standard application really lets us know who you are. So please share that with us. There's no supplemental essays. And if you're completing the common application, the essay that's part of the common app is sufficient. If you're looking at any of our art design or film and animation based programs, the Bachelor of Fine Art degrees, there is a portfolio requirement. And once you apply for admission, you can upload your portfolio pieces in your RIT admissions portal. So I want to talk a little bit about financial aid and about admission deadlines as well, and scholarships. So, on the right hand side, you can see our admission deadlines. RIT is a school that offers early decision one and early decision two. Early decision is an option for students that know that RIT is their top choice. They're able to apply early, find out about their admission early, and about their scholarship and financial aid early. But you also need to commit early. So, you would commit to RIT by January 15th for early decision one and February 15th for early decision two. Now, if you're applying through regular decision, that's a non-binding option where you would apply by January 15th. You'd find out about your admission by mid-March, and you would have until May 1st to commit to RIT if you'd like to. You're going to be automatically considered for a variety of merit-based scholarships based on your application for admission. There's no extra steps for that. And if you are being recruited as a Division One hockey player, you may be awarded an athletics scholarship. All Canadians are able to apply for financial aid with an RIT specific financial aid application. For those of you who are looking to apply for fall of 2024, that financial aid application will be ready in early December, and you're feel free to reach out to me if you want access to that. I can help you with that. That's going to put you in the running for RIT grant funding, which is based on financial need. It's like a scholarship, it's money you do not need to pay back. It'll also allow you to be considered for student employment, and Canadians are allowed to work on campus up to 20 hours per week. Now, if any of you have an RESP, you can use those savings towards your RIT educational costs. And if you happen to be an Ontario resident, you can apply for OSAP funding. And if you are awarded OSAP, you can also apply that funding to RIT as well. So I'm nearing the end of my presentation, but I did want to share with you some of the newer things on campus, as well as my contact information so you can follow up. So we're really excited to see the opening of the shed, which is the Student Hall for Exploration and Development. That's in a phased opening right now. It'll be open by the end of November, so very soon. And it's going to it has 27 new classrooms that have all opened. It also has several maker spaces. It has a black box theater and a dance studio. It's right in the heart of campus. It's over 100,000 square feet, and it's really quite the show place. So definitely check that out. You can't miss it actually if you come to campus. We're doubling the size of our Saunders College of Business, and that's expected to open in January, so very soon. And then we've broken ground on a new music performance theater, which is expected to open in 2026. We're also building a new athletic stadium, and we're building a new research facility as well. So lots of new things coming online very soon at RIT, which makes it super exciting. So here is my contact information. You're welcome to contact my office in general or me specifically. If you happen to be able to visit campus, we do have an open house coming up Saturday, November 11th for grade 11 and 12 students. And if you're a grade 12 student that's applying for admission and you get admitted, you're welcome to come to our April 6th or April 13th admitted student open house. And our ret.edu/experience website has a lot of different ways to connect with us. But please reach out to me. I'm happy to help you plan a visit or answer any questions that you have about the application process or financial aid as well. So let's see, are there any questions?
No questions at this time.
All right. Well, I want to thank you all for tuning in, and I wish you a great rest of your day. Thanks so much, everyone.